And then Gael comes to me and he would say, "Hey, Jan, we want you to do the short on this thing. Can you do it?" I will say yes. And then fast forward a year from now, we'll have created a lot of content, but it's all lost. Nobody will look at it anymore. It will have lost its value. It might be overlapping. It might be contradictory. Now, if on the other hand, we spend a little bit of time in advance and do this in a structured way, then a year after we start, which might be 2 months later, but a year after we start, we will have in an ideal scenario, we'll have this great repository with FAQs, with videos, with an LLM that can use all that data, where you can ask questions, with time codes of videos, with articles, whatever we think is useful and relevant long term. I have 2 more minutes and then I have a hard stop because I need to go to the toilet and then be here in time for my next call. But you can continue on this topic, and I'm happy to jump on better next week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think we can just create a thing almost like Deep Funding Academy or a page where people could select the topic and learn about it. And then if you want to reuse the videos in other places like the website, you can always do that. It's a matter of strategy. Um, yeah, in relation to the rest, well, I had more to say, but it's just 2 minutes, so I'll let other people speak, as what I was going to say is going to go like completely into other topics. So Anthony, please.
Yeah, just a few questions. So like um who is the audience of the videos and the content we want to create? You can hear me, right?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and it's
Okay.
something
Then
that
two
you
questions
don't.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the second
No,
question? And then
the
I'll
first
leave.
audience, yeah, the first audience is who is the audience of the content we want to create? Then who is the audience for the growing knowledge repository where we will be storing this or this and content for future reference?
Yeah. Um, my first. So this is an important question. I had a long conversation with 3 circles on our target audience. I think it should be senior developers at first, and then we can go to media and junior and a wider audience. But that should be our main target. Another and related to that are people that are making proposals. I would love the proposals also to come for a large part from senior developers, so we get quality proposals. However, it's more important to ask this question right now than to listen to my answer, because this is also something that we need to figure out, maybe with a little bit more detail and granularity together, because we could have multiple target audience, and maybe the short videos are for our TikTok audience, whereas the structured generated videos are for people that want to get funded and the proposers, etc., etc. So we can think of the all the content we generate as a matrix with the different audiences that we want to serve, and then also present it in a way that each audience will get the kind of content in the format they want that is optimal for their purposes. Um, Sorry, guys, I have to step out here. I think this is an important and great discussion. I hope you'll be able to continue a little bit without me. Um, I said to Raphael the other day, let's just have this short call right now, even though if not everybody can be here or whatever. It's an introduction. And then we can follow up either in the same slot of 3 circles or have a separate series of calls on this topic with the people that are relevant to it and want to be involved. Alrighty?
All right. Thanks, Jan.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Gotta go. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Right, guys. Yeah, you want to keep talking about this, Anthony? Regarding your question, it will depend a lot on the content we create. I think, like, if you do ideation, then the audience is different than if you're doing RFPs. So, ideally, it's for people that are visiting deep funding website and want to see how to contribute. And then maybe we need to think how to guide them. But as you know, when we have many initiatives, and not all the initiatives are for the same audience, I believe, right? So I don't think ideation is going to be for experienced developers, because if you're an experienced developer, more than sharing ideas, you're probably worried about working on your own ideas, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Then another important question we raised up yesterday was, will there be an update schedule? Will we update this content later on in the future? Because the video content is going to be tricky to update.
Yeah, that's. Oh, go ahead, Rob Cozy.
Yeah, I mean, the video content definitely, I mean, that's logical. And yeah, the content has to be updated because things will change. The ecosystem is live, perpetually changing. So yeah, we'll have to update the content. Oh, that's a given. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, but
okay.
in
So we're
terms
not,
of update
go ahead.
schedule, it is it's kind of our decision how to make it, and maybe that's the process where we need to create how to check content and see if it needs to be updated.
Okay, okay. Um, okay, the next one was yeah, the time frame of this initiative. Yeah, especially for budget calculation and resource allocation. Is there a time frame of all this content generation and release? What's the time frame?
You want to answer that, Raphael? Okay, so I would say time frame is, as soon as we can get it done because we have a constant influx of users, right? And currently we're about to run an RFP. We're about to
Oh no,
launch an RFP.
sorry. No, by time frame we mean the time frame of it being active, not before we launch. Let's say we
Yeah,
launch
and
Oh,
today.
okay, okay.
For how long
Anthony,
would we
I
go
think
ahead?
there won't be any time frame. It will be continuous. If you need to update the content, you can have a date for it to stop. And it's very hard to know as well because imagine, uh, 1 year ago I wouldn't imagine that deep funding was going to have deep labs or deep ideation. So if we keep this rate of adding things, you'll need to constantly be adding content.
So the
Okay, okay,
content
okay.
lives, yeah, the content lives for as long as the initiative is alive and is updated for as long as the initiative changes. Whenever there's a new feature, right, or a new component that's added, then we update it. Whenever there's a new component that's removed, we also update it to keep the content updated.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Then another dimension to that question is how long is this initiative itself, not just the content, like this initiative from the marketing circle and all. How long are you guys going to do this, to be
So
creating this
so
content?
Yeah, so the customer, well, I wouldn't say customer, the contributor facing circles, notably the dev outreach, the event circle, and the marketing circle, we're supposed to always be creating this content. We're just, we've been creating it, but now we want to have it streamlined, right? So it's supposed to be for the life of the project, so to speak, right? It's for the life of the project because whenever somebody enters our ecosystem and the entry point into our ecosystem, the real entry point is the website. They come to the website because they hear about us on some social media platform, on an article they read somewhere, or on a podcast they listen to. And then they come into the ecosystem, then they want to know, okay, how does this whole thing work? Maybe I have an idea. Maybe I want to put my expertise to the use of deep funding, right? Maybe I want to contribute to decentralized AI. How does it work? Then that's where these videos come in. These videos are at the ask stage of of the contributor's journey, right? So these videos are perpetually there as long as we have people that would want to know more about how they can contribute to us because these videos guide them through that pathway to contribution and eventually advocacy.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Then one other question in the form of a wiki. Does it mean that it will be collaborative updating? The process of updating will be collaborative, involving multiple
Yes, it will be and it has to be.
like put it, multiple
Yeah,
okay.
you mean
Okay.
multiple circles. So
Yes.
the event circle caters, like takes care of all the events. They set up the meetings with the important people. The marketing circle does the editing, right? The marketing circle is sort of the put together of the footage. The event circle helps create the footage with the person in question, and then the documentation circle helps store the content. Now, depending on the type of content and the type of initiative we're promoting, the dev outreach circle might also collaborate, right? And then perhaps another circle, the labs might collaborate, right? And then perhaps the community hubs, that's the event circle, they might also collaborate. So it all depends on the message and the goal of the specific content that we're creating. But it's all cross collaborations, and it needs to
Yeah,
become
and
live.
I think another thing is for us in the dev outreach circle, we would definitely just want to guide the process, not be directly involved, because obviously this content is what we use in our outreaches, right? So for example, next week we're going to be in campuses, right? If these contents are available, you want to be able to tell people, you can just check it here, see what it is about. So just to be able to frame the conversation in a way that it is relevant to the developers, which is one of our core audiences, one of the
Yeah,
reasons why we are actually part of the conversation.
but you will be involved, Lubio, if we can,
Yes. No,
because we need to talk about hackathons. We need to talk about
yeah.
all the things about developers and maybe even onboarding or something. So occasionally you can be involved, but other circles as well should be involved, like reviews should talk about the criteria to be approved.
Yeah, so this leads me to my final question also in relation to exactly what you asked. So what is the scope for documentation circle? From what we've got so far, we think it is the management. Let me get how we wrote it down. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we think that our role will be the management
You're breaking up. Is it just for me?
and
Nah, he's breaking up.
It is
storing
breaking up.
of this searching growing repository. This content, the storing and managing of the content so that in future humans or LLMs can take advantage of it. That is the role of documentation. Okay, how about now? How about now?
We can hear you.
I don't know
We
if you
can
can
hear
hear
you.
me. Let me. Oh, okay, perfect, perfect. So I was asking about the scope of what the documentation circle will be doing. So from the information we have so far, we think that we will be about the storing and management of this resource, of the resource. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. Storing, management, and just
Of the
organization, and
content.
yes, of the
Yeah.
content. And I think if you guys, because you're storing the content, if you could help us, and because you already do this for other documents, I believe, if you could help us with a process to check the documents and if they're updated or how to update it, that would
Mm,
be good.
yes, that leads us back to one of the things Jan pointed out in the beginning. It is actually separate where we are going to store the content for future use and reference. We will not be, it will be a text-based repository, probably a remote repository like GitHub, text-based in the sense that we will convert all the video content to whatever format is easier to store. Maybe the transcript of the video is much more easier to store and reference also. Then that might lead us to an issue when it comes to updating it. But for now, we want to like store the reference or the knowledge, the repository of this content. But the actual displaying of the content is another aspect of things. That's where you now talk about maybe you want to display it on the deep funding website. That is also a means of storage. That is quite separate from the repository storage that we think the documentation circle will handle. Does that make sense?
Yes and no.
Okay.
No way.
Okay.
So
okay. Let me
the purpose of just to explain
continue.
to you, Anthony, the purpose of storing these is to be consumed. We don't want to store just for historical reference. We want people to have a place where if they go search what the hell is an RFP, they can consume it. I completely agree that having text base is it can be useful. I know some people prefer to read. So if we can maybe do a transcript of the video and put it there, awesome. But I think we also need to keep the video part because I know that there are a lot of people who would prefer the video part. So the storing process to be simplified and, it should be just one and should be this one for consumption, But I'm not against having a text version as well. But I think it should be easy to have a video embedded into a page and then have the text below, right, Anthony? I don't know. Tell me what.
The link of the video or the video itself?
Yeah, the video is going to be on YouTube. So I think it would be easy to put there the link of the video or ideally to embed it into the page so that people could watch it inside the page. And then they have also like those, have you seen like those courses where you have a video and then below you have like a text?
Yes.
And then I was thinking in my mind, I was envisioning something like that. And then people can on the site choose the topics that interest them and click if they want more information. And I think that would be the ideal.
Okay, it makes sense now. Thank you. I think I'm done with my questions. Yeah.
So what do we need to discuss more about this? Or what do you guys think should be the next steps?
Well, regarding next steps, I think Yan was saying it, and you also said a piece of it. It needs to be, I mean, the way the content is going to sort of, well, be stored. We already spoke about it. I think we can create a document and highlight the topics in that same document, but also start talking about how where the content will live, first of all. So are we going with your option where we have a site where people can come and query everything deep funding, where they can, run a query and watch a video on an RFP or watch a video on this and so on and so forth? Or do we have it living somewhere where the documentation circle puts it, right, for storage purposes? But then each platform has a specific content relative to it on like in display that people can come and interact with. Or do we do both? Right? We need to agree on that first and explain that so that can be communicated, to the larger team, including the UI UX. And then yeah, I think that's a start. And then we can start talking about next steps, as in which topics do we start to cover first. I think yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my vision is not necessarily a site. It could be a site. It could be, there are platforms where you can do this. Like the idea is more like, for example, you're in any website and you have questions, then if you have an help section or whatever, this could be like our help section,
Yeah,
you
a
know?
Q&A.
For example, you go,
That's why
yeah,
that's what I was talking about. The frequently, I can have a frequently asked questions, and then in the frequently asked questions, text comes up, videos comes up, people are linked to blog posts, and so on and so forth. I don't know if that works in your vision, if we're saying the same thing.
yeah, sure. I mean, I think it can be similar in some ways. Yeah, it's just about seeing how to organize it and seeing if we want to do it like straight Q&A, like with the questions itself, which is more limiting, or if we want to do it like half Q&A and half education, you know, like for example, if you want, you can go through all of them without being a Q&A, or if you have a question about a specific topic, it's like a Q&A for you because you just go to the specific topic. Do you think that's possible, Gael, to do both?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's possible to do both. It all depends on the capabilities of the dev team and the UI UX. And yeah, because UI UX, they know more about the user experience. But what we are proposing both are doable and also the other one also complements the other. So I think we should propose both to them and get feedback from them, and together we would have found our definite solution.
Yeah, sure. I think it's you know, it should be really simple to do. At least if it was my business, it would be really simple to do. Uh, but yeah, I think what we need to decide then is the videos. We had an idea, Gail, that was, you know, I thought it was a good idea, and we were very aligned with events and marketing on how we could like do a teaser, then we would have the event, and then, you know, from the event afterwards, you could do, if needed, a more polished video. But Jan seems to want to do a teaser, at first a video that's really polished, and then a presentation.
Okay. Is it because he wants people to
Right?
come to the town hall with their questions?
Yeah, I think he does, and I think he misjudges the attention span of people. To be honest,
Yeah, yeah, he does
he
because
misjudges how hard it is to get people, even
yeah,
with a lot of these websites, like the community website. Like it's a good idea in principle, but then bringing people to go there and check things, that's a whole other question. How much usage it gets, you know?
yeah. I think it can only work in that way if we're getting close to an RFP and people are highly interested, meaning that their interest level is at peak, right? Then they can come. And if it's positioned in a way that it's by watching this video that you're going to get the insight you need to submit the best proposals and get the funding to unlock your potential in decentralized AI, for example, right? Then if it's positioned like that, then they have a reason to come watch the video because it gives them an advantage, right, over other people who wouldn't watch the video. But if you don't position it like that, and it only works, like it's limiting because we don't have RFPs all year long. We don't have rounds all year long. So once the RFP is done, how do you position the video to get people to come watch it, or does it just live there now and then in sort of like a miscellaneous way people come in and consume it? But I would go for your option more. Now, your option is that we have the town hall because the town hall is the interactive section, is the community building session. And then after that, we have the polished video because that lives on YouTube forever, right? Well, at least until something big changes and we have to record a new video. That's basically your suggestion, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I guess we need to talk to Jan. I just think he's so keen on the other one.
No, no,
Then
I think both. Go ahead, finish. Sorry.
no, I understand your point. I think, you know, what concerns me the most about Jan's solution is it's going to be a lot of work for him. You know, like he's going to have to make scripts, and it's going to be like super tight,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
things will delay a lot, and we never advance with this stuff. I think it's
yeah,
easier when you already did a presentation. you got feedback, you know what's wrong, and or you know what you need to cover, and then if you need to do a shorter video after that, usually it's faster and easier, and we also don't have the time crunch, you know, because you can
I
take a
mean,
bit more time to do a video that's really polished.
yeah. I mean, both approaches have their pros and cons. Yan has a point too. But what do you think if instead of having a polished video before the town hall, the polished video is replaced with a blog post or an article that we push that native advertising approach where we make sure that we put it on platforms where these developers that we want to attract live. I mean, deep funding is not too fond of spending money on content advertising, but if we can if we can get this blog post in front of as many people as possible, and the call to action would be come to the town hall, right, and experience and ask your questions firsthand, right? And then we also have the TAM from the developer outreach circle. The developer outreach circle can help us send this blog post to all the people. The newsletter team from the marketing circle can also help us send this blog post in which we get, what is an RFP? Everything Yen wants to talk about lives in that blog post. That way people can prepare their questions, sort of like an invitation. Prepare your questions and come to the town hall to ask them live and get insight on how to submit the best proposal or how to respond to these technical challenges that we plan to solve for with these new rounds of RFPs, right? And then the event happens, the town hall happens. So basically, I'm saying instead of a video, the blog post replaces the video, and it's treated as the video would be treated, meaning that we push it out there. We don't just put it on X and LinkedIn and wait for 2, 3 people to like it, basically. What do you think? Do you think that would work for Yan? Meaning that getting people to come with their questions and prepared, and then we have the town hall and then the polished video.
Yeah, I don't know, like I understand your point. In my mind, I see this content much less like aggressive marketing, but much more like just educational, you know. So I think we don't earn that much by promoting it very far, like with ads. But yeah, if we can promote it organically, I think it's good. Uh, in terms of the blog, I don't know, man. Do you have data on how many people read the blogs? It's always hard because you can open it up, but you never know if the person is actually reading it, right? Do you
Yeah, so
have data on that?
yeah, I
Mm.
didn't get your question well. Can you ask the question again? Do we have data on what?
So, for example, for the existing blogs we have in general on deep funding,
Mhm.
there are do we have data on how many people read the blogs? And if we
Oh,
do,
okay. Yes, we do. We have data
it's
on
just
it.
opening data, but it's just
Yeah.
opening, right? You don't really know if they spent X time on it, or do you?
Yeah, we can know. We do know and we can know. For some of the blog posts, we have links that are in them leading to the website, right? So, and then it depends on the dissemination pathway of the blog post. So when somebody sees a blog post, let's say on social media, they click on it, it takes them to the blog post, they are reading it. The blog post, if it's about, let's say, submitting RFPs, for example, we'll have the link to the specific RFP or to the RFP page. When they click on that link, we know because we have we put tags inside of the links, and this is done in collaboration with the analytics circle. And whenever somebody clicks on it, we know. Now, let's say the link is fairly at the bottom of the blog post, right? Now, we can't guarantee the person read it all, but we know that the person must have scrolled and come all the way to the bottom to click on that link in order to go to the RFP page, right? So we know that this blog post brought this number of visitors to the website. And if it's a new visitor, we also know. If it's a recurring visitor, we also know. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I think it's good. And my question then would be, do you know if we have more people watching video, reading the blog post?
I would say definitely more people watching videos because we're at the age where netizens are watching videos, right? If videos perform better, they're the best performing content. Now, for our target audience who want to see something technical, it can't just be a video about a video where somebody's just talking. It needs to be a video where graphs are coming up and stuff like that, right? But I would also say that the senior developers that Yen wants us to tackle, they would also read, but they'll read articles on LinkedIn, right? They wouldn't necessarily click and come on our blog post to read it. But if it's a thought leadership article on LinkedIn that is perhaps posted on one of the forums on which they like to go and read news, yes, they would read it. Right now, to answer to your question, currently, we haven't like our reach approach is not to that point yet. Like we haven't integrated all the developer forums that we could integrate yet, right? That's something that we plan to start doing now. So I believe if we do implement what we plan to do in like the near 2 months or 3 months, we will get to that point where people will read our written content as much as they're reading our videos as well. But yeah, to answer your question shortly, short videos perform better than written content.
I think that's a great point. Then I think we have the answer. Like the answer would be maybe when it's an RFP and the audience is expert developers, we should do blog posts. Well, I guess when it's, I don't know, ideation or other things, potentially video makes more sense all the way through, and we can try to adjust. What do you think? Yeah.
I would say we combine. I would say for every content for which we do a video, we do a blog post. And then perhaps we write a white paper, then needed be, right? And then perhaps we write an article on somebody's, on a journalist's blog, for example, for thought leadership and stuff like that so that this if it's highly important for us for the content to be seen, then we put the content like we have multiple touch points for the content so that when the persona comes or when the persona is scrolling casually through social media, they can get like there are multiple chances for us to for our content to be seen by them.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I think I'm okay with that, I guess. The problem is it's a lot of work, and it doesn't feel resource efficient.
Yes.
It doesn't feel
Yes, it's a
resource
lot of
efficient.
work.
And I
And
also
that's why
think,
Yen should be
go.
no, I think Yen should be on the call for this part of the conversation because it's resource intensive. Where if you really want to drive attention and capture people's attention and become a leader or thought leader in your space, it's you need to spend the resources. It requires a lot of resources, and from the history or from what I've seen happen so far, I think we're being.
You're muted.
You said, Raphael? I didn't hear that part.
You were muted. I think you cut in the middle, right?
No, 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 no. I was done. I was done. I say I think we need resources like you're saying, right? In order to do in order to to implement the approach that in order to get the results that I see Yen wants, we need more resources than we're currently deploying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's important. I would follow a much simpler approach for now. It's just because I think it's important to have the content. I don't think it's important to create and maybe to know where the content is. I don't think it is important to make a lot of effort and noise about it. Just I think it's useful, but I think it will be more useful, as you mentioned, when the time is right. So, for example, you have an RFP, you need to talk about RFPs, then you can reuse the video, you can do all of that. We can try to also make a session on the events or something. So, yeah, the events would be really fluid, right? Because for us, we can adapt to what's going on. We just need to know what's going on and then prepare for the next town hall. And I think the videos, it's just important to have this content and then use it in the right timing. I think, for example, we shouldn't wait for the right timing to create the videos. I think they should be done before and then use them. Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. Yeah, we need to have the videos now.
Yeah. And I think having that FAQ page would be nice, or the educational page, whatever we want to call it. Yeah, and I really think I would like the process to be as simple as possible, because if we make it too complex, the coordination is going to be a mess. We are a lot of circles here, and yeah, that's it. Things work better when the process is simpler.
So for simplicity's sake, let's just align on something right now. So the very first thing is teaser, right? This particular topic is going to be talked about. And the goal of the teaser is basically to hook people, to get people from outside of deep funding, or people who are in the ecosystem but not necessarily aware, to come watch the content. So then instead of having all these multiple touch points, we reduce it down to maybe one or two, meaning the video that Yen will record, right? And then perhaps a blog post to go with that video, and then the town hall. And then after the town hall, the polished video, or whichever way we want to go. Are we in alignment?
Sure, I guess. I mean, you said 3 videos, four videos, I guess. The teaser, another video, and then a polished video. I think we
No,
should.
so
Yeah, go.
no, that's what I thought I heard you said, that Yan wants us before we had agreed we create a teaser. And the teaser is basically to get people to come watch either the town hall, which turns into a polished video, or the teaser is to get people to watch the town hall, to watch the video that Yen is going to create, which turns into a town hall. But then you also said after the town hall, then I mean, won't we package the town hall and put it on social media and put it on YouTube?
Oh,
That's where the
yeah,
third
yeah.
video comes from.
Good. I mean, that's probably from the things we are doing. That's the easiest we could do, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what are we retaining? Do
No, it's just the question is whether we would do just the event first, or we will do the polished video first. I think that's the process we need to figure out.
Okay. What do you guys think on the call? Anthony, Abdul, Miss Haiti, what do you guys think? What should come first?
I think the content first, the content creation itself. From there, we can answer the question of the type of content. Then we can begin to answer the question on the type of content. Then just more research. On the documentation circle side, just like we said, research on storing and managing the content. Yeah.
I mean, I would say, thank you. I would say we should agree on what type of content first before we start producing any content.
Won't that be too slow? Because we already have an idea of the
Yeah,
content.
my concern about creating content first before agreeing onto what we have to create will be wasting resources, energies, and all of that. Instead of rushing, I think we should find balance in making sure we find the right direction. So we can create content at the end of the day might not be useful, prevention for whatever things possible. I don't know. But if we can all agree on certain content to be created, so that will save us time on probably reasoning or probably this content is good or not, whatever the case may be. So
There is
from
there
the
is
point
already
of
a list of topics, Abdul.
exactly.
There was already a list of topics shared some time ago with the three circles, so that will be the content we'll be creating.
Okay.
So
Yeah, if
those
that
are
is
the
done, if that
topics.
is done.
Now is the format we need to figure out, right?
Okay. I will check the list. I will ask you. Probably I missed it.
Yeah,
So
there's
then
two lists. One that is the initial idea for the series is just about deep funding. So just about explaining RFPs, explaining rounds, explaining all these initiatives and how people can
okay.
participate. So that is one type of content. And then Andrea also sent a list with topics that are more general in case we want to do other content for other audience.
Yeah.
But I think mostly Jan's contribution, at least initially, would be more in this DF content, and it would be more people than just Jan as well.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I think talking of the format,
So Abdul, to give you a bit of focus on so if we so these are the two pros and cons we're looking at. If Yen records a full video that the marketing circle edits before the town hall, the worry, and Rafael Cardoso mentions this, is that it's highly time consuming for Yan, because you and I both know Rafael and Abdul, us three, at least I don't know about Anthony and Miss Haiti. Video creation is hard, especially when you have to record yourself. So I think Raphael's fear is that Yen might even get tired before the first video finishes. You know,
I
yeah, he
understand.
might, yeah, because you record and then you find it's not good. But then Raphael is suggesting that, and this is Yen's flow. Yen suggests he records the video. The video is packaged by marketing, edited, and add the nice graphics, make it look shiny, and post it on social media. And then we invite people to come to the town hall to ask questions directly about the video. That's Jan's flow. So it goes video and then town hall. But Raphael is suggesting the town hall should come first and people come and ask questions. And then after people's interactions and Yan answers questions, then we know all the different directions the discussion can go. And then we craft the final video, because that final video takes into consideration what people think and Yan's feedback and all of that. So which of the two do we choose? Did I explain it right, Raphael?
Yeah, I think it was well explained. Thanks, Yael.
I would choose Raphael approve because it will be important that would suggest that we are creating content that people actually need, not what we think people need.
Ah, okay. Do
Yeah.
we vote on this or what do we do? Because we need to know what we're gonna do so we can sort of like do a little report on this, and so
Sure,
we
I think
can.
we can vote. Gail, please mention the first option and we'll raise hands. Do everybody knows how to raise the hands?
Is
You're
it,
terrible.
Greg, is
What's
it
your vote,
possible we take the two options to the town hall or for them to
Okay,
decide?
okay,
That
okay. And
was
then
your
we do the
initial
pros and
stand.
cons. Yeah, and
Yes.
then we do pros and cons. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we are okay. We can do that. We can do that. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys want to take it to the town hall or take it to all circles?
Should we vote on this
to
before the
be
main
honest,
vote?
I'm okay with both for what, like, I think honestly, here, if we are the ones doing the work, we should be the ones deciding, to be honest. But on the other side, I'm in the event circle, and if we have cool topics like this to discuss, I'm also happy. So I like both options. So I guess it's more your decision.
Oh, thing left. Okay, so I guess Anthony left.
Yeah, I guess
So I don't
we
know.
are not having enough quorum for
So
the voting.
yeah, no. So let's do a little report of the meeting and share it within the Three Circles channel so that everybody can at least see what we ended up discussing. and we see what happens from that reporting, right? You put it in a little document.
Maybe you
Works?
could put that question you just did. I think you did a great explanation,
Mhm.
Gael. So maybe you could put those two options also, and we like could ask the question to the people, like in a message, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah. I'll do that. I'll put that in a little what came out of the meeting report.
know. Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you also, Miss Adi, for
Uh,
being here.
bye bye.
Bye bye, everyone.